We are going to Bolivia now to hear a different story, also about isolation and resilience. So the third speaker of the day is Bolivia travel expert Janette Simbron. Janette decided to change her routine and projects once she saw herself locked down at home for months in a row. And Janette also reframed her own goals and decided to invest in regenerative tourism, a step forward the sustainable and responsible tourism we all have tried to. To present her story, how isolation opened our internal doors to reframe our goals, I'm happy to invite our dear Janette Simbron.
Thank you, everybody. For me, it's a very pleasure to be with all of you, and it has been a very hard process, I guess, so in the life of all of us. But also, it was a very nice period in our lives to uh, stay quiet a little bit and stop a little bit and try to reflect about what is life in reality. So let me share with you my screen and show you a little bit of what this time brings to my life. For some reason. Okay. Well, in reality, what am I going to talk to you about today? It's about how insulation made us change our goals. I work in tourism since I was very young, 23 years I had when I began to work. And I decided to promote my country, small, tiny country with a lot of prejudice and preconcepts. And I traveled all over the world, sometimes with my family, sometimes alone, trying to show and to promote the beautiness of my country, but beyond everything, the sustainability and independent company that I have. But in this process of having a sustainable and independent company, I also was working in my personal independency and my personal autonomy and the personal capacity that I had to show and to promote a country like Bolivia. Suddenly, and the persons that they know me, they know that I'm very speedy person, that I love to talk and I love to go around. I love to go up, down. I travel almost 120 days per year, from Japan to Dubai and from Bolivia to wherever. And some of the time, more than 140 days per year, I'm not at home. And suddenly, the isolation came, and all the world was in trouble, and obviously my person also. And suddenly, my wings had been cut, and my independence uh, has been a little bit affected. And there, my emotions come over. Happiness for some times because I was at home with my kids, with my husband. Then frustration. The company hasn't given us the money, the business, the quotes, cancellations, and all of these things bring us lots of sadness. Frequently, we have joy to be on the garden for more than 3, 4 years, then anger because all of the things that we were planning to do this year were not going to be done in the time that we pretend. Hope. I was implementing my glamping project around Bolivia, and suddenly the project had to stop, but I had the hope. Sometime we could do it. Pride, because after 3 or 4 months, the company was there. After 5 months, the company was there. My team was there. And everyone begins to learn to work remote. Fear, because we didn't and we still don't know what's going on. And I began to evaluate myself. No, at the beginning of this period, first of all, was the company, the business, everything that was outside. And then after 2 or 3 months, I began to analyze and think and evaluate about who I am. What am I doing? What does happiness means to me? What is the purpose in my life? Am I really promoting a change? Am I really doing what I want to do in terms of achieving my personal goals? What are those goals? And those questions come back again and again. And then everything I cook, I usually don't cook. I bake. Oh my gosh, almost 20 years in my life that I didn't do something like that. Clean, read, learn, exercise, yoga, and repeat and repeat and repeat. And this process that I was living, that I'm still living in some way, I was doing inside my words, inside my house. I was feeling protected in my house with my team, with my family. I was being protected inside of what I feel that was saving me from the virus, from the COVID. And lately, after 3 months of thinking, of having this relaxing and analyzing period, uh, I need to reset. I need a reinvention. I need to think of those goals that has been me analyzing the goal, the target, what I was going to do and the things. And then I began to create and I began to feel this emotion that I usually have when I travel. And I decided to do a company with my sister. I create a blog because I wasn't feel confident about my photography. So I create a blog called The Doors that I began to take photographs about doors in La Paz. The company with my sister is a company focusing cold pressed juices, fruits, vegetables, very healthy because this is something that I really want to achieve in my personal life also. I decided to support my community, very local people that lives on the jungle in Bolivia that they really were affected because of the virus. So I put all my efforts to try to bring them some support. I need to get close to my closest friends, something that I couldn't have the opportunity, the connection with the others, but the really interaction. That was something that brings me these 4 or 5 months to period in my life. And then in this analyzing period and trying to rediscover who I am and trying to analyzing who reality wants to be in life, regenerative tourism comes to my life. And suddenly, as the doors were closing before, the doors begins to open. And I began to think that I can do more. We can do more. We can go beyond sustainability and in environmental things. That's something that I work in my country since Bolivia Milenaria has been created. We can discover a new way of doing things. We can try to build things in a better way. We can rethink what we are doing, and we can be able to epic. This is one of my images. This is one of my photographs. So I began to be more confident of what I want really to achieve. And the isolation also not just brings breath to the planet, it also brings the breath to us. And so I guess in this period, all of us, we began to breathe in a better way, to try to inspire ourselves what we want to do and when we want to do. This is one of the glampings that we have in La Paz. It's just 40 minutes from La Paz. And the regenerative tourism, I guess so, will help us, all of us, to open our eyes, to be part of something, a community as remoters, that we have a feeling of everybody, we can do things in a same way, in a respectful way. We can think green, be more sustainable, get involved with other realities, not thinking under our comfort zone and trying that we have everything. So open a little bit with our eyes and to think and reflect that other can be able to receive our support, not just money, support. Understand the value of simplicity and the connections, live real experiences, beginning to get deeper in my personal vision. Bolivia Milenaria has been working all of these years in some of those things, but now we understand and we build up these 4 months to do it in a deeper way. And I learned a lot in this period. Changes start with me. I cannot wait that the changes start with others. I need to begin to think in a collective way, not just in an individual way. I have to be a holistic vision about tourism and about the efforts that we need to do it as a community, as a person, as a company, for the rest of what am I doing, for the people that I work with the people that I'm going to create experiences for my colleagues, for my team, create real cooperation, reduce the boundaries, create a meaningful travel experiences that really can help us to change not just the visions of the suppliers, also the visions of the people that's buying the services. Learn the bonding between every little element. If something goes down, we everybody can be able to help them put up, collaborate, and restore. This is something that I learned. This is my team, and this was a very impressive, hard period. But at the same time, it was an impressive period of that we need to change, we need to do it. So I wasn't see the 5 months and something quarantine in Bolivia as something hard. No, it was challenging to stay home for 5 months. I guess it was challenging more for all of them, the ones that you see, the three guys, than for me. For me, it was very nice and pleasant, but I guess for them it was a little bit hard to have mom at home for so many months. But at the same time, all of us will learn that in the turbulence, we need to create a change. This is what I can be able to give you for today. Thank you to all of you to listen to us and to help us to regenerate the tourism. It's in our hands. We can do it, and we are able to develop a new way of tourism, but in a real, unique, and authentic way.
Jeanette, we do hope the tourism will be greener, smarter, and less crowded once the pandemic is finished. And we here in remote, we totally believe there is no other way than practicing sustainable travel, responsible travel, and now regenerative travel, which is nothing less than working to leave the places we visit better than we found them, right? So
Correct.
that's it. And Janette, we have a few quick questions for you before we go to our coffee break. How hard is to be a leader as a woman and an indigenous descendant in Latin America?
Well, it has been completely hard the last 20 years. That's the reason that I live with three guys, and it's also harder because, especially for my husband, I think so. It is we live in a macho society. That being a woman, and I began very young. I was 23 years when I began the company. It was harder also. But the most important thing is that it's not a gender thing. I guess it's a purpose of creating cooperation, and this is something that we create in the company. We decided not to be the biggest Bolivian company. We decided not to be the greatest one. We decided to be the better one, and that's what we can be able to do, understanding that we need to be equal. Nothing is better, nothing is less. We need to be equal, and that is the main difference, I think so.
All right. And I'm gonna ask the same question. What was the toughest moment for you during the pandemic, and how did you manage it?
Being at home. Being at home for so many months, I guess so it was the harder period. But I managed very well. I cook, I bake, I learned I did yoga. So that was the toughest process, I think. So and suddenly believe that the tourism was not there, because it was the most important thing in my life during these last 23 years. But still there, we are still here, the company is still here. I'm with the same energy as always, and so I guess it's the most important thing.
All right. And Janette, how can your customers work to leave Bolivia a better place when traveling to your country?
Sustainability is not just a word. Sustainability means deeper than that, means respectful, no? And regenerative tourism means also the opportunity to travel to repair the harm that we do to our ecosystems. I guess so with the regenerative, we have to travel to interact. to respect, to value, and to get deep in the places that we're going. The experiential travel need to transform the way that we're doing things, and I guess so the passengers needs to comply in a better way, in a balanced way, from both sides, from both sides, the products that we offer and the products that they receive. And it's a back forth thing in terms of responsibility. I guess so that is the key factor.
Okay, thank you, Janette. Could you just share any final message to our audience before we leave?
Yes, we need to improve the conditions and equal life of the people, and it's in our hands. We need to create a better planet. The planet has been changing so long since we were stopping, and I guess we can do in a better, but in a responsible way. No, thank you to all of you.